This is just the program I was watching right now with the guy who was actually involved in it. Let me demonstrate you outside. I'm sure you can hear the sirens, right? It's probably police sirens, I'm not even sure.
This is the historic Fourth Ward Park in Atlanta, Georgia. For longer periods of time.
This was one of the douchebags who was involved in MK Ultra by the police. Slovenian police, by the psychiatrist cops. And you know what the funny part about it is? This individual talked about detention and regional detention and detention and detention and detention in this video. And so what they do is they were creating a program like this to undermine. In the future, where you will be watching, when I will be watching videos and stuff, most of the people probably will not even realize what they are watching if subjected to MK Ultra torture, during which death threats, psychiatric death threats are loaded inside. They gave me probably about, pertaining to the songs, they might have contaminated with the death threats, psychiatric death threats, probably about 1,000 different songs. And when it comes to the videos, who knows how many they have contaminated if there was a single video out there that did not contaminate it with the death threats. Especially if the video looked like this one here. Let me present you with this. Let me present you with this smart guy here.
This is known as continuous monitoring and adaptive control. It's basically smart stormwater management. It is a pretty cool idea that's only just starting to catch on in cities, but it has disadvantages too. One is disease vector control. Because there's no stable pool, you can't reliably stock fish to eat mosquito larvae, so there are limits on how long you can hold water before you have to drain the pond. It's also quite a bit more technically sophisticated, so there's a trade-off there too. Usually these types of systems are operated by specialized companies that install, manage, and maintain them. Some even sell the capacity on an open marketplace, allowing developers to buy credits in lieu of on-site ponds. This stuff gets pretty creative, addressing the lot level needs of individual developments with larger watershed scale outcomes. And in fact, they're often part of a larger idea called regional detention. Even though
I'm sure you noticed the language, control, monitoring, etc., etc. This barbaric animal, this Aryan here, this Barbaro here, not only was involved in MK Ultra, but he was involved in Mount Everest of psychiatric intimidation. And then you guys wonder, why am I like this, huh? Why the fuck am I taking a stand against you like this? Like, you guys did not have the time or ability or capacity to stop it. Do whatever you are required to do by the law. But instead, you are using the opportunity to involve all kinds of people, even scientists, engineers in it, to create a program that will closely remind of the one, let's say, when I worked at South Florida Treatment and Evaluation Center in Miami, let's say, in Miami downtown, yeah, and we had these issues. Regional detention, control, monitoring, etc., etc. Huh? You just couldn't go past bullshit. And yeah, today you actually have a serious problem. And so I am using this video to actually demonstrate you as one method. I will present other methods, the way they try to intimidate based on MK Ultra scenarios. That's basically caused post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety, play with anxiety. Just a little earlier you were able to hear authentic police siren, which I don't hear at all. I must say they became so silent about it that it's unbelievable. And this also goes along many other audio, video recorded sirens based on interaction I had with the environment based on whatever I was doing in a private environment, and I was completely closed inside of the room. You were able to hear, barely you were able to hear that siren outside, yeah? Involvement of sirens, whether that be police sirens or ambulance sirens right across the Kirka River. Now, needless to say, today is the Saturday, and the time is unlikely for the siren 17:35 hours. There is no traffic practically on the road.
Though on-site detention or retention is great in theory, it can be messy in practice. Small lots don't have room for meaningful storage. Building dozens of tiny basins inevitably leads to uneven maintenance. The small pipes and outlets of minor ponds are more susceptible to clogging, and in some cases, they can actually make flooding worse. You could see on my graphs that detention lowers the peak at each site, but it also delays it. If mini basins are designed with similar outlet controls, their attenuated peaks can arrive all at once at a confluence downstream, spiking the creek level worse than if there were no detention at all. Water quality benefits are hit or miss too, because
No, don't get me wrong about this stuff. Don't get me wrong about it. The guy is very professional. His language is very, very, very appropriate. Except that he did this during MK Ultra and have repeated himself next to the death threats. Numerous death threats that he issued me. But this is what the problem is. This is what the problem is.
Performance depends on how each little system is built and maintained. So there are cases where developers get together, or a city or a drainage district solves the problem at a regional scale, building a single, larger facility that can handle the runoff from multiple sites. By routing excess runoff to a shared basin, or a network of them, you gain real storage volume, coordinated release rates that match downstream capacity, and professional...
I was just watching this program. And right here when it came to this area here, it started with detention and regional monitoring and so on. Psychiatrist Pakapsh was his godfather. This was his, I'm going to say maybe even his mentor, definitely a teacher on how to intimidate, harass, terrorize individuals during MK Ultra. The techniques with which this individual in particular became so thrilled, so excited about. I don't know, but there is a people who actually love to see the thrill on people's faces, drugged up, thrown into the psychiatric hospital, and then delivered to the Texas to watch this idiot. I think it was in the Texas that he is from. He was in a various location, in a various parks. He had me, and he had me walk outside, relax in the park, and then he would get his half an hour, 1 hour, wherever he would be, work on me. Would you like to listen, drugged up, an individual like this thing here? Would you like this stuff? You were thrown in a psychiatric hospital. You barely can walk. You barely can move jaws because of psychiatric pills. You cannot even sleep. On your left side, you have a trouble sleeping on your back because of the pain even inside of your heart is about to explode. The pain is so bad that you're asking your mom to tie you to the bed just from the psychiatric medications that you are basically raped, forced to eat by the psychiatrist. And you've been delivered to the nutcase like this. You're actually contemplating an escape from the country. You go to American embassy. You try to get ambassador to talk to. You try to escape the country. You don't know what the fuck to do. All your life is being deleted. Bestiality is taking place during MK Ultra. Not only you're not barely standing on your feet, but chances are that just about at any moment from exhaustion, you will fall down dead. You're receiving death threats night and day. You get about 2-3 hours of sleep maybe per night during this psychiatric rotation bestiality procedures that are taking place. In my case, they were taking place for no less than 50 years. You have a cancer. You have a problem with the liver. You have sound 24/7 inside your head. Zoom in. You deliver to the idiot practically to splash in your face attitude that is portraying somebody like, of course, an engineer, but who hopes eventually that he's going to be so effective at driving you insane, at driving you crazy, that you will put him on the internet one day, or maybe not even be capable to register about the stuff that went on during MK Ultra. And instead, you would proceed even next to the siren they would play under your window, police siren, and live basically in a self-denial and in a fear, through anxiety, driven completely insane into the psychiatric trap. I should say police trap. So this is not a very nice person, is it? I mean, you don't want this kind of scientists on the street, this kind of engineers. You want to have a garbage like this walking down the street? You want to have animals like this everywhere? I don't think you want to have society flooded with a garbage like this. First, you are whatever you are, and you are whatever you are till you break the law. Then you're no longer no mom, no dad, no engineer, no teacher, no police officer, no scientist, not a physician, not a doctor, whoever the fuck you claim to be. Because there's this fine line that you should not cross. It says, do not cross. Do not cross the law. And this guy did it so many times. So what I want to do is I actually want to thank this guy because it was perfect. I was just watching this program and I came up to this here, up to this location, detention, retention. I start browsing other videos and stuff, and it was in my great interest to watch architecture of the ponds and so on. And so I watched so many of them. My father is a fish and harvestry technician, engineer. He engineered, built ponds, lakes, harvested fish, all kinds of stuff like this. That's actually on his resume. This is what he became educated for, even as one of the first people in what is known as Yugoslavia. He traveled to the Serbia to learn this trade, Novi Sad, Belgrade, to learn this trade. And it was inside of my family. We had rented part of the lake, a beautiful stream. It was just inside of the family. The fishing was just inside of the family already. It's a tradition. And they knew about this stuff, that I would be doing this kind of stuff. And so I love this stuff, this kind of architecture, all kinds of architecture pertaining to ponds, lakes, water irrigation, fish harvestry, all this stuff. And I also gave some advices out there to people. I wish I could give you more, but you didn't want to listen. So, or maybe you were not allowed to. That's another thing. I was not also allowed to communicate with the people. That also was enforced by the Slovenian police, which was hijacking me, abducting me to United States of America from Slovenia to do this kind of stuff. I was not allowed to talk to many of you. I was not allowed to say to you whatever I wanted to say. And so they knew that I would be watching this kind of stuff, that this is... This otherwise was a very nice individual. He was involved for a very long time in this. He had me at his university. even during the years he studied at the university, a very long time involved in individual, but you were able to see, you were able to hear basically how they try to undermine, and this is how they drive people insane. You were subjected to MK Ultra, you watch the program, you come across individual like this, his program, I should say, in a parenthesis, he was breaking me down in front of the computer. He was in front of the computer, sitting with me, and he went on, and this is what I start with, using the terms basically which pertain to the psychiatry. He did everything. He sit in front of the computer with me inside of our house. He did stop by, and he went on to intimidate also inside of our house. It was not enough. Now, what the fuck would it take for you, after you have been even thrown into the psychiatric hospital in 2012? And in 2015, I was thrown inside of a psychiatric hospital. After 4 years of MK Ultra bestiality, the Illuminati club of George Bush, British Charles, Prince William, Harry, Andrew allowed themselves to dump me inside of the psychiatric hospital. We upgraded their status. We went for the best. We reached out for the stars. We actually tried to get them killed through the psychiatry. It's nothing we wouldn't try to do. And you find yourself inside of your home with an asshole like this giving you this type of feedback on something that now I believe the job at South Florida Treatment Evaluation Center, which was a psychiatric hospital, this is a job that traces all the way back to, I don't know, maybe 2003, 2002, was actually even used for the future, for the sake of the future psychiatric hospitalization. To intimidate, to harass, to remind of what can be done, etc., which was the case also even during my work at this location. They were delivering me like an animal at this Miami downtown location where I worked as a surveillance system operator, and they started to intimidate me. And so now you can see, now I'm in Slovenia, he's in America, but the same animals that were hijacking me overseas are right here from Novo Mesto. And the same animals that were hijacking me from United States of America to Novo Mesto are right there on the other side of the screen. Now you can see how effectively you can undermine remotely like this the stuff that you can do to an individual. And you can also see that I'm being monitored 24/7, that every link I click, everything I do, every ISP address, every address from the internet that I click, every activity I do, they're closely watching, monitoring, and also listening, 100% listening. And based on the stuff, based even on the stuff that I see, not that I see, but possibility has in it, there is more than just what I stated here. They even turn the sirens on. And what I caught right now, like I said, it didn't happen one time. It happened on many other occasions, of which some of them I actually video recorded. I would not record Mount Everest of this stuff, but at one point in time, I started to video record this stuff, audio record this stuff, and this just happens to be one of them. I'm going to put you a link down below so that you can have also this one here. This is exactly what you have been watching. I've been effectively catching these people with all kinds of issues. They pose on the street at elderly care. They do all kinds of stuff. I got them carrying files around the home for elderly people, which they had me observe, participate in, and have even demanded files from the people, from the patients, from the residents. and demanded from me to even guess where is it, in which facility is it stored, and that kind of stuff. Yeah, folks, and that's what they refer to as assistance, as a help. It was just necessary to do stuff like this, they claim, because I was not a serious person in life. They claim also that kind of stuff that was necessary. All kinds of stuff like this. They did all kinds of stuff like that, yeah. In a way, I'm really glad that they threw me inside of the psychiatric hospital. Yeah. Do you know why? Because you won't be able to say that I was not a serious person. You are there to murder me, to get me killed. Period. You keep that shit for yourself, all those lies that people can read in the blog that I expose. You're going to keep that stuff to yourself. So I like this video very much. I like it. This is a proof of stalking, harassing, based on Big Brother surveillance. Do you understand? Do we understand each other? That's exactly what that is. 24/7 surveillance, stalking, police surveillance. That's a beautiful, beautiful proof. An attempt to undermine through anxiety, which is based on prior MK Ultra torture. You think it's not a serious thing? You're gonna fucking see it. And I made a mistake. I did not properly explain all this stuff. No. I did not properly explain this stuff. This is not the way it works. The videos here which they post right here on the side, they're all based on MK Ultra scenario because there were so many people involved in it. And some of these videos are extremely juicy. Like this guy, for instance, was a real animal during MK Ultra. And he loved the thrill in my face. He loved the thrill in my face in America whenever he would get me. This was a guy who always acted very normal. You know, like you're talking to a scientist or you're talking to really an engineer, like really a person that is just, you know, but it was always that nutty, you know, nuts, crazy, nutcase, nutty factor present in him. I would say geeky factor, you know, like geeky factor, but this guy was a nutcase. He became extremely proficient in driving crazy, using those terms and behaving nutty, like nuts. And that kind of stuff, ladies and gentlemen, is used to drive people out of the skin. And out of this kind of stuff, then it's a real incidents that come out. Then you have maybe somebody somewhere smashing a police officer or assaulting somebody for no fucking reason and that kind of stuff. That's exactly why. That's how dangerous this kind of stuff is. It's nothing more dangerous than to pretend like everything is normal and subconsciously, submentally allude into subconscious where entire program, torture program, is being loaded onto during MK Ultra bestiality. And this guy is a professor. He's a professor in driving people nuts. You understand that? This is not, I know that professors, people that are educated, they like to behave nutty and smart and this and that. They like to look smart and so on. But this guy, this individual became a trained killer when it comes to issue known as driving people insane, crazy. He was taking tips on how to drive people insane, nuts, from the Slovenian psychiatrist Peter Kapsch. And so, during the torture session, bestiality, they would also deliver me to him. Oh, this garbage, forget it. This garbage, what he is talking about, this garbage goes to the year 2008. And he had me, I don't know, in Austin. I don't know where he had me, in Texas. He was talking about something about this location here where he had me. 2012, I think. And he would be meeting me on the side, in the park, wherever they would take me. And he would just want to talk seriously, you know. People talk all kinds of stupidities and shit, and this guy just wanted to talk about something, he just want to talk about something seriously. Yeah, and what he would do is he would intimidate, harass on the issues. As I described in this video. So you don't have to worry about these videos. These videos, based on Google, in a parenthesis, Google algorithm, they find their way up. They'll come. They'll come. There was nobody involved in MK Ultra. If you wanted to be involved in MK Ultra, you had to be involved in torture. And then there is this category of the torture that you wanted to be involved in. That, however, did depend on you. But you had to do nasty stuff to be involved in MK Ultra. How nasty stuff, however, that was up to your financial needs, I guess. That's how they were enforcing this stuff. That was the assistance, that was the help from America, from greater than Great Britain. Germany, France, Italy, Scandinavia, Canada, New Zealand, and so on. They almost killed me. They almost managed to kill me. They almost succeeded. You saw this here. My goodness, my goodness. Just the only thing I did was I was watching the program, his program, then I want to click here. And as soon as I clicked here and I started to browse like this down, the sirens went on. Wow, wow, right across the Kirka River. And as I was already scrolling down, I was thinking about this guy, where I said to myself, of course I have to come back and video record that stuff too.
This is the historic...
There have been a lot of people involved in this stuff. Before I even started to video record, I left him a dot like this. I wasn't going to go and video record this stuff. I wasn't sure whether I should come back and video record this stuff or not. But I didn't have to worry about making choice, because the siren, the police siren, made the choice for me right on the other side of the Kirka River. So it was an easy decision to make, to come back here to this page anyways and get it done. So that's why I video recorded, because it was worth it for me to video record. Folks, this is stalking. This is not stalking only. Stalking is just a consequence of the 24/7 monitoring, total surveillance. There's a lot of people that are in trouble. Nobody more than physicians from General Hospital Novo Mesto, physicians from Home for Elderly People staff, and of course, Animals in Blue, and from Novo Mesto Police Station, from Ministry of Interior, Parliament, animals, all kinds of politicians, neighbors, village people, all kinds of people involved. Who knows how many people involved in this? So it's understandable that what they do is they sit, and probably not one person, but God knows how many, and monitor this stuff. Everything the fuck I do, definitely on the internet. They knew that the biggest window to the world where I would not interact directly with the violence, where they could not interact with me directly through the physical violence, would be on the internet. How do you look at the internet? You can see that I have a very comfortable, very clean, and very logical perception about the stuff that I do. There was a lot of animals that were involved in this, who, many of you, and you are animals, who actually believed that you intimidated with this issue. You might have not even believed in this, but many of you did, because many of you were certain that if you post, you indoctrinate me. Numerous of you Americans indoctrinated me that if it's not the video that's going to be posted before 2020, I should say till 2020, you shouldn't be, as a matter of fact, even talking about this because it's a schizophrenia. It's a schizophrenia. It's no fucking schizophrenia. You can see I gave him a thumbs down. Yeah? You can see that stuff. I also gave him a thumbs down. It's just that you guys are so fucking rotten, criminally insane piece of fucking shit that you just hoped for that I would not touch you. You just hoped for that you could somehow prove that your projects with you have involved. And many of you even went on to cover the pools and had a grass seat at the top of the project which already you completed. Many of you, even like this, it was the case with you. So that I would not touch one. So basically that I would not dare to touch one. This is wrong. This was posted 12 days ago, but your assumptions were totally wrong. From the beginning, this was okay because I am only intimidated, you got to understand about me, when I don't have enough proofs about this type of... This is not even a tactic, this is a practice, this is a criminal practice. But once I have enough proofs, I don't have to worry about the stuff anymore, whether it is something that I could be misinterpreted as somebody who is mentally ill, or is lying, or somebody who is credible. Because that's all it takes. Once you establish certain people, manage to identify certain people who post videos after 2020 and so on, you don't have to worry about you fucking clowns, whether you would like to post the video before 2021 or after, right? It only takes few of you morons for me to identify, and then what happens is I deal with every one of you directly. Whether you did post it before 2021 or you did not post it after 2021, I will be the one who will be deciding about you, not you about me. The nutty factor, this kind of a nuts factor, I have a nuts factor of my own. What I do is, I am so comfortable in this stuff that this is not the only thing. Then you go out, and you do whatever you said you do, and then they meet you and they see you, and then they pull more of this MK Ultra scenario, and they hope that they're gonna somehow observe some kind of behavior, hasty behavior, irrational behavior, confusion, that kind of stuff, some way, somehow, that they could somehow provoke and then build on that, on those issues further. And I really have a ball, man, when I there's nothing sweeter than to drive insane individual who believes is driving you insane. When you don't respond to these provocations and you continue to ask logical stuff, actually when you continue to do what is necessary to do and ask questions, rational questions, going past intimidation, going past anxiety and so on, it's nothing sweeter to see the expressions on their faces. You guys go so fucking nuts. I love it. There is that other side of that driving individual crazy. It is nothing more torturous for the person. These are all egomaniacs. These are sick people. There is nothing sweeter than to see expression on their face when they face uncertainty and they are drowning in it, and they just don't get whatever they would like to get, and they're completely lost. They're lost like small dogs. They're completely confused. Well, I used to I never was confused, I never was lost, but this type of stuff takes toll on your mental health. This is the same thing like when I experienced not a stack of letters, but I'm going to say probably at least maybe 1 meter. No, at least half a meter. Stack of at least half a meter of the letters that were coming from all the attorneys from Slovenia. They were sending me when they threw me into psychiatric hospital and accused me of all kinds of stuff. And then they started some kind of trial based on complete lies, bullshit, without my actually even saying anything and just adding up to the stuff that did not even exist. Giving basically by what should have been my defense attorney, which is even crazier stuff like this. To make the case more interesting, more challenging maybe for the animal from United Nations, or maybe for the animal such as European Ombudsman, Human Rights Ombudsman, or maybe for the animal from the Interpol, or maybe for the animal from the FBI that in the future would come and defend me. You fucking little fuck, bunchy fucky fuck. Who the fuck are you going to defend? What the fuck can you defend when I was the one who investigated and have done absolutely everything? Who the fuck are you going to defend in this case? You fucking animal. They were literally hallucinating about, and that's how they drive people crazy completely. All kinds of investigators were involved in this and investigating these crimes. I did explain this issue. They create crimes which they investigate and interpretate to one another. The animals such as Miran Sudin, let's say, who was involved in a bunch of these investigations and even negotiations with a foreign police executives, like German executives and so on. They had other individuals. It was not Miran Sudin. But sometimes, if it was not available, Milan Kučan personally would also deputize, let's say, Miran Sudin. Or even what was known is now already ex-police director from this shithole here that calls itself a Novo Mesto police station. This shit is bizarre. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. Who was so ambitious, and he also wanted to prove himself. Igor Juršić was his name, who also tried at times to replace and prove himself. Also, he tried to replace. He doesn't have such a bad English skills. He understands. He can communicate. He also tried to replace. Igor Juršić tried also to communicate with the foreign police officers when they will be coming to Novo Mesto, where these animals, these terrorists, were presenting them with a plot, with a future plot, assassination attempts included, on how to view, how to interpret, obviously to their bosses over there in Deutschland and in Britain and etc., etc. I should say what their bosses had, the expectations of their subordinates on how they should view this stuff, in case somebody sometimes in the future would challenge them, ask them about these questions, basically. How to lie. You understand? This shit, when they do this stuff, they never do it. Unless they have a total support, unless it's coordinated from abroad. This case is gonna zip mouths, I should say throats, to many police officers, to many of you dressed up in blue, to many of you with the police badges acting as an investigators, and many of you sitting inside of the presidential suits and the prime minister suits. That's a big fucking case. So I'm not surprised about people watching everything that I do, including every click that I click, and listening knowing preemptively. Who the fuck knew more about the stuff than local psychiatrist here from Novo Mesto? This psychiatrist Peter Kapsch, who was so teaching, and they will go and rate how provocative, how this, how that, for every fucking video, from every song that you listen. They were trying to build momentum on that stuff. What they try to do is they try to depress. They depress people with that. They brain kill people with that. What they do is they try to play down your expectations. They were like extremely assertive. Like, my mother was trying to demonstrate me all the time, like an attitude, like she's know what she's doing and so on. The truth is, she was all confused, like a little puppy, all confused. And it's more confusing for these people than when you smile in their face and you continue to do the stuff that you're supposed to. That means that you demonstrate them competence. This is when they go berserk. And that's why I like that song. You remember that song, Napoleon? I love that fucking song. They coming to take you away. At one point in time, that kind of song started to work for me so beautifully, because the stuff they do to you, it becomes like a music to you to do to them. The stuff that I spoke to you about, you have no idea how efficient, how capable, how effective is the stuff that you can do to abusers, to MKUltra abusers. They go fucking crazy. They go fucking crazy when they see they don't get, when they don't get, listen, even when I walk on the road and stuff like this, it's, if they notice, they watch absolutely everything, how you walk, you have a smile on your face or whatever, they'll do something stupid and drive close to you, or drive fast next to you, or pull something stupid for sure, in order to take that smile away, calmness, relaxedness. They all the time brainwashed in MKUltra that you're supposed to look weak, that you're supposed to not demonstrate happiness, that you're not supposed to demonstrate all kinds of issues like this. Yes, I know they're drilled so good. You should be watching this video again and understanding the stuff that I say, because it's like a vaccine for the people that are in, God forbid, situation like mine, but something similar to it. It's so effective. You can do more damage to them 1,000,000 times. You don't know how much effort they invested in this. You don't know how many people are selected to go inside of the prison. You don't know the sentences that are going to be handed out. You don't know people going to lose jobs, all kinds of stuff. You have no fucking idea what it means to be calm, to be calculated, to be capable to, I'm not going to say to hold the pressure, because you can never hold the pressure. They teach people, oh, how do you relieve the stress, and how do you, etc., etc. The thing is, you never should. You have to do on the stuff that you're supposed to do, and any kind of irregularities they do, what you do is you document it. And when the shit explodes, if the shit explodes, you lay it out directly in the face, and knowing that you did whatever you're supposed to do. So the gaslighting basically is present on every job. This is not only for the people that are subject to MKUltra torture, but it's basically for every employee. They teach people, it's a culture out there, that you have to prove yourself through the stress, handling the stress and stuff like that. And they continue to load you and overload you, and eventually they fuck you up. They fuck you up. You don't complain. You take, the worst part about it is you don't have the evidence. But when you build evidence and you continue to build evidence, then it's just a bad thing. The thing is that those that do bad things, if you have the evidence and you lay the evidence out, they will get, it's two things that are going to happen. One thing is they're going to get arrested. I should say maybe even fired from the job, whatever the case might be. Or It could be even that you might be thrown out of the job. It could be that they might do the same thing to you. They might actually blacklist you. They may hold you for the throat and keep you jobless for the rest of your life. Who the fuck knows what can happen? But there is one thing certain. The people who do bad stuff to you, they will continue to do the bad stuff to you until you're gonna fucking drop dead. You understand? That's a corporate culture. This is the culture that we live in. So what you do is you better stand up and fight back. Because the only thing that's gonna go wrong with this thing is you're not doing everything you possibly could to take them down before they take you down. And that's also how mental sicknesses are built. That's how they fuck people up. Now, I had no fucking idea because in American culture, they brainwash people to be compliant, to be silent, even to throw the proofs, the criminal evidence that you have against the perpetrators away. So they would not hurt, so you would not hurt your boss, so you would not this and this and so on. That's fucking wrong. Don't put up with the shit wherever you are. Remember when I said to you how you put up with the stress? The way you put up with the stress is exactly as I explained in this video. You put them up for the whole world to see. That's all you do. That's how you avoid mental illness. Everything else is bullshit. And you're going to be the one paying for it. That's how you do that stuff. It's not only people that are subject to MK Ultra torture. That's just the upgraded combination of what I explained to you. That's basically job blacklisting, blackballing, keeping people with less and less job and not indicating but alleging that they are not capable to keep stable employment, etc., etc. Why is it the fuck the police always keep the jobs for lifetime? They commit crimes and stuff and they still keep them. Get the fucking idea about what's going on, people. Wake the fuck up, whatever the hell you are. Start to use brain and you will understand what's happening. It took me a great deal of time and a big loss of life because I did not understood that concept. The way you do is, you do it exactly like I explained in this video. And trust me, nothing is worse on their faces. If you work, whatever you work, and you're going to see, when you do the right stuff, based on your job, and you don't allow them to drive crazy, they'll go fucking crazy. You're going to see on their faces, you have to do work, you have to do job. You have to do it best to your abilities, but also make sure that you cover your ass, that you protect yourself. There might be jobs that will not guarantee you out there employment or whatever. It might be even well-paid jobs, and you're going to end up losing the job for doing the stuff that I said to you right now you should do. Trust me, those are not the jobs designed for you to keep. They were just out there to fuck you up, to get the piece of you. As long as you protect your ass, and you did absolutely everything you could and you should, and you document that stuff, you're eligible to apply for another job and continue without a scratch. When you don't do the stuff that I said to you, and there'll be a bunch of people, they'll be out there, employers, engaging in exactly this type of stuff, and doing the stuff, you must take legal actions against your employer. You must never ever allow for your employer to run you over and leave you with a short-term employment. What is for you, his job is not for you, and so on. Fuck that. If one job is good for you, it's all jobs are good for you. Trust me about that stuff. Never allow that stuff. Take actions. Never allow any of that kind of stuff. It's a culture of hot potato. That's basically a hot potato that you grab and you throw in somebody else's head and hands, and is going to drop one off in somebody else's hands, and so on and so forth. It's a society that is actually designed for a certain group of people, for certain people to dominate in that society. And it is like this until you start to kick them back. When they start to take the hard one, they know, they become desperate, you know. You watch my videos, you understand how it works. More and more desperate. is nothing more effective than the stuff that I told you about. Calmness on your face, smile all over your face, doing exactly what you're supposed to do, doing it correctly. This is about the most efficient, the most effective way to punish the people who do this stuff. They go absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. They can't handle it. You don't know, but the stuff that I saw on the people's faces when they tried their best, nobody was. It's a mental illness. This is a mental illness. When people do this stuff and you can see on their faces, that's a mental illness. It's a sign of mental illness. Nobody was more mentally ill than Robert Golob. Nobody was more mentally ill than psychiatrist Peter Kapsch. With Robert Golob actually explaining diplomats from abroad that his success is actually attributed to whatever he was allowed to do with me. Claiming to the people, including practicing with the cancer, with the food poisoning. Yeah, because it said it gives me a self-assurance. I know exactly what's right for me to eat, how to sleep, what to do, how much body can handle, and this and that. And then he is flashing in the media in front of the people like somebody who is knowledgeable, like somebody who is capable. This shit that was done to me, Slovenian police interpreted the outside world as actually crucial, even crucial for the law enforcement, for the hospital, for the people that work as emergency responders and physicians and so on stuff. Crucial for them. This is what they claimed them. I am not saying anything. I'm not saying that this is crucial. I'm just saying that these are idiots. These are heavy-duty idiots, and they are all broken. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying anything. I disagree with stuff like this as necessary. Yes, I do disagree. I think that this is a nutcase, and I think that treating these people the way I explained you in return for what they expected would yield them success is about the worst punishment that you can do to them. Yeah, I also gave him a thumbs down before I changed the page. Now I could actually give him a thumbs up, but I will not. Not till I meet him on the court. You don't do the stuff. You're not supposed to do stuff like that. This is a Fort Ward Park in Atlanta, Georgia. Okay, so it's Atlanta, Georgia, wherever it was. I did not track everything about whatever they had me, whatever. He had several of these parks. It doesn't matter. I didn't even pay him attention. I don't even know what his name is. I just recognized the nutty case from... Because he talks so calmly. He talks so rationally, so logically. Yes, psychiatrist Peter Kapsch rated this video. And I see what I learned today right now is basically on a nutty factor. There are ABBA songs heavily involved in all kinds of videos that they knew that you would be listening music and stuff like this. And it was all kinds of stuff they embedded through the torture inside for you to feel like a piece of shit or most often to heavily instigate into police. This was one of the favorite songs of psychiatrist Peter Kapsch. This one here. This was the thing for him. Super Trooper. Yeah. I am not going to be doing this stuff here, but I just want this lights. This was the thrill of the psychiatrist Kapsch. He was all taken away. He was obsessed with this stuff. He was like, well, he wanted to, in every pleasant song, in everything that is normal that people would do, embed a factor of lunacy inside. Yeah, that was his genius. This, in my case, never worked for him. I was too busy doing other stuff. I always enjoyed seeing people completely insane, losing their mind, with attempt to drive me crazy. I, in other words, was very much aware about what went on. This was the thrill. This was the thrill to him. That kind of stuff. And the new lights on the cars, the direction markers, this kind of stuff. Yeah. Ooh. So this is well documented attempt of that's what I call crazy factor. You know, crazy factor. Never allow yourself to get into the crazy factor. Never allowed. Actually, what you can do, yes, I mean, just register, just document any kind of crazy factor that you encounter in life. You always have to register. I found myself asking myself, why would I register these things? And I lost, as a result of it, great deal of all kinds of incidents that took place that I did not take time to register. Just fucking register, because it's called a chain of proofs. It's nothing stronger than a chain of proofs. When you establish that it's certain type of incidents, of course they never appear, or at least not often, sometimes even often, in exact same form. But they always go in the same scenario. You have to video record any kind of incident, because it all add up to a proof. Proof based on chain of proofs that is a repeated type of stuff is actually the strongest, the most legitimate. I was actually teaching Pete Hexet about the law enforcement, J.D. Vance about the law enforcement, and these were the fucking people that became part of this shit. I don't regret. The most important is you don't forget. Must be noticed, I was inside of the living room area with a completely closed windows. At the beginning, you were able to hear the siren was like very, very low. Very low. And then I went and I opened the terrace door, and then you were able to hear a lot of that siren coming inside of the room. And this is the way it is. We had ambulance responders, and then you can go and you can tell whether that's a police officers, or should have been a police officers. So you had these animals literally on a terrace, in a kitchen, inside of our house, in front of me, with the parents, laughing in my face together with the Robert Golob, indicating to me about certain spots. Yeah, they had telephones with them. This goes to the time of Janis Ogulin had a telephone with him, a police radio, and were actually, whatever radio they had, communicating about where is it. This is our house right there. Oh, this is our house here. Now this is our house. And now imagine this stuff here. You're right on the terrace, like this, where the kitchen is, where you see that clothing right there. You have a police officer, not only on a terrace, but in every fucking one of these rooms, throughout the house, including the garages, rate ambulance vehicles, police sirens, fire rescue sirens for every one of these locations across the Kirka River. Whether that be right on the other side of the Kirka River, whether that be where they build this road, whether that be on this rondo here, or that rondo here right there. What is it where you go through here if you have the sirens on? What is it where if you plug the sirens on here? What is it how much you hear if you squeeze the sirens on here? Do you understand what kind of drill that was? Janis Ogulin, Igor Juršić will explain this kind of stuff together with Robert Golob. This is truly not a police work, is it? To drive people absolutely insane, learn about the isolation, sound isolation, as per how much they could intimidate you with the sirens from a particular room, from the particular area of the house. So this was not that they took possession of our house. They have literally turned our house, it's on the other side of the Kirka River, they have literally turned our house into a torture facility, basically. They turned our house into a torture cell. Not only during MK Ultra, but during MK Ultra foremost, it was used to evaluate, to see basically how much damage they could do from a certain location and even during certain time of the year. Because of the leaves, because of the grass here that you see, a little bit forest that goes here along the Kirka River like this. You can see there is trees like right there, and those, they have a big effect on the sound that then basically amplifies inside of the area of our house. So do you think that this is a job of the police? This is how you do this stuff? Oh yeah, there's a lot of people that's gonna be taken off the streets. They coming to take me away. You see, I was waiting for this moment to come very long time, and you don't like it. This is where your negativity, talking to the scum in blue, passes you, and you're no longer so much eager, in your so certain, so self-assured, in your game of craziness. The whole thing is twisting around, driving who's gonna drive whom crazy. And today I explained to you how you can completely destroy these animals, how you handle them with literally, like with one finger, basically what you can do to them is actually unprecedented. These people right now are almost at disability status because of what I told you in this video, mentally wise. I would love nothing more than to see them at the work today. They look like a shit. Actually today I will be so good to you that I'm gonna demonstrate you a comment here which I posted probably on February the 8th, 2026, about a month and 1 week ago. And I posted this comment because I got angry. I immediately recognized who posted this. I had these beautiful young people here inside of the home, and I was the one who was explaining them sometimes in 2009, 2008 actually, I think. I was explaining them the issue behind, if the beginning is good, the end will be good. And I did this by different thing. I told them, if the beginning starts like a shit, it ends like a shit. And I will be so good, because today I spoke about certain type of crime that governments, therefore governments, they don't allow everybody to go through this. They do to the certain portion of the population, wherever it is that you are located. If you are not a person that is desired, whatever, whoever you might be, a political issue, whatever the issue might be, your life itself will start like a shit. But forget about life starts like a shit, because you barely wait to finish your grammar school and high school and maybe college, university, whatever the case might be, to go on your own finally. But as you do, and you think it will depend on employment and work, that's what this is saying. If it starts like a shit, it also ends like a shit. So as well as mind this here, if the beginning is good, the end will be good. This is actually, probably really is Japanese. I was wrong about this stuff when I stated that this is not Japanese. My version is, if it starts like a shit, 100% I guarantee you, definitely, it would also end like a shit. And what I had in particular on my mind is just an employment. Why is it like this? Let me demonstrate you. This is what the brainwash does to people, but this here is, I had these people inside of our house. This here is the comment that I posted. You're going to take a time and you're going to read this stuff here over. Then what you will do, I'm going to put this stuff under the video so you can read this under the video, this stuff. Then what you can do is, if you do that stuff, you can also learn that what I was talking to you about today, it actually pertains. Oh, this is just the edit history. Okay, so because I want to have the whole comment is basically what I want to have. What I was talking to you about today, if you're going to read this comment here, you will learn it's a certain type of mental illness. This is, I described in this video a certain type of mental illness. That's what I did for you in this video. I described you a certain type of mental illness. It's a type of mental illness that is strictly administered by the governments through the field of employment. Primarily, as you become independent, that's what it concentrates to. That's when you're gonna, for the first time in your life, you're gonna come across totally fucked up people. Once you start to go on your own and you're gonna start to work, and you will come across, like I did, across the people that they will do the job for employers without actually being compensated for. Sometimes a minor thing, of course, is the stuff that you should do. Maybe your employer treats you properly and you absolutely should be loyal to him. You absolutely should do whatever you possibly can to help him out. Not because it helps you out, but because, and this is always was my motto, but because he's a good person. You don't have to get paid for absolutely everything in the world you do. Sometimes you should just do it because it's the right thing to do. If you're really lucky in your life, you come across the people that for whom you will nothing more than love to do good things, because They are good people because you love them, basically. This is why. But sometimes the employers will use shit employees, evil people. They will be using to pose in front of you to convince you that working for free is actually nothing to worry about, that actually everything pays off in one way or another. It will compensate you on a long term. Yeah, because you believe that the stuff that you are doing, you're actually listen, I'm just going to put it this way. They steal the fucking money from you for the work that you do. They're using employees to demonstrate you, to teach you how to work, what is, or I should say, whatever is expected from you as far as your performance, as far as your quality of work, I should say, and input efforts, productivity. And they're using a people to literally even demonstrate you that it's okay not to get paid. That it's okay actually to get the money stolen, which was my case. Employer was stealing the money from the state agency, from the state, which was paying the money actually for me to have, to do the practical work of they do for everybody, to do the practical part of work which is required before you can get your paperwork together and be certified as independent worker that you can perform in a certain field. You understand? So they were stealing the money from the state. They were stealing the money, the wages for all the overtime I was working. I used to get paid about $100 per month, at times even for 80 hours of work per week. So they could laugh in my face and even suggest that the money went for for the entrance door to the father's property here at home and that kind of stuff, which of course did not, because for that kind of money you could get hell better gate, door, and so on and so forth than that shit over there that rusts over there, and then deliberately displayed that door, the entrance door, the gate, how it's rusting over there, resting on the side of the scarp that father built. Father said, there's at least one thing you paid in your life. I never agreed to that stuff on the first place. And that was supposed to be a boost in my life, job, money, first time on my own. You should buy yourself your fucking car. You should buy yourself fucking things so you wouldn't have to walk to the work. You don't agree with it? That once you start to live on your own, that you need car, that you deserve car, metal working, 12 hours a day standing up, heavy job, heavy duty job, physical. And you don't think that all broken with your broken spine, they already broke my spine, that it would be good, that you would have a car you would sit in and drive home instead of waiting for somebody 1 hour to come to pick you up or walk or whatever the case might be back home all the way? You don't think so? This is kind of crazy shit. It was even crazier when I got the job overseas, where I had to pay the money. I don't know how much money to get the fucking job and ticket. The people here doing nothing became wealthy with the money I paid them. I think I paid them like $500 just to get the job. And it was $1,500 for a plane ticket. And it was all the money that I earned in Slovenia that was stolen from me practically. And I came on the ship where I work 7 days a week, 20 hours a day, for free, for nothing. The wages every month, I think that they were like I don't know, $60 or $20 or $100. I have no fucking idea. And the rest of it, it was a tip from the guests. And from the beginning, that tip from the guests was adding up to nothing. Finally, I managed to catch up and collect $3,500, which actually paid for the ticket and for the money that I paid even to get the job overseas. Escaping from that fucking ship barely alive. With having people that were thrown in my situation quitting in less than 1 week. Leaving after second, third day, people were leaving. After 1 week, people were leaving. Some of us stay even 2 weeks. And some of us did the entire contract. If it starts like a shit, it will definitely end like a shit. Employees were used to example. He got paid. They never told you how much they got paid. There's a kind of employer that was hiding the wages from co-workers. They got paid $500-600 more per month for 40-something hours of work per month, per week. And I got paid for 80 hours of work per week for entire month, $100. With literally workers, older people, men, employees demonstrating and demanding and rushing me to do that job. And doing all kinds of crazy stuff and demanding from me to see myself in this world as useful or unuseful based on insanity. They managed to push through me. You go and you fucking unload the whole fucking truck of iron and I don't know what kind of stuff, crazy stuff, so that your maestro, this was this guy Peter Bukovets, that animal was, who would say, yeah, you did a good job. You did a good work. Yeah, it's like a good dog, a good dog. You good dog, you good animal, you good animal. You understand the type of mental illness? Well, this is the same kind of shit. This is a type of gaslighting. And they drive you insane absolutely into the grave. It starts at your birth and it goes throughout your life until you fell down dead. This is what they were doing with me. If it starts like a shit, it's going to end like a shit. All you can do in between is whatever I demonstrate you, explain you in this video. If you do this, you're going to be successful in life. If you're going to do everything else, you're going to be listed as a handicapped person, as a person who's going to end up inside of the psychiatric facility eventually. They're going to drive you crazy enough for you to do something stupid even inside of the prison and so on. So I was good enough to you to take time for you to now go ahead and read this stuff. They were literally using workers and demanded from me to see myself in my being tapped on the shoulders and being told, good boy, rather than being paid wages as it should be the case, and end up with the stolen wages and stuff like this. It started as soon as I finished the school for mechanical engineering technician. Already before that, whenever I was going to this fucking animal, this Josef Chertalic here from Novo Mesto, and then Bojan Chertalic, during what should have been vacation, and they were still in the money, even during vacation for the job that I did in their workshops. They were always happy to see me to work at them. At that place, anything was possible. And they organized themselves, talking about these Slovenian animals, in such a way they would not open me doors absolutely anywhere, wherever the fuck I would apply, other than at the Chertalic. They designed the route through the life through which they rip you apart. Communists, Slovenian communists, Serbian communists did it, if you want to know who did it. Those who swear on a worker's right the communist scum, red. They worked hand in hand, never better partners, never better friends than with the fascists, with the neo-Nazis, with the imperials, with the British royals, with the Germans from Berlin, with the Austrians from Austria, with Americans from United States of America. Never better friends. Never better friends, never better partners when it comes to the crime. Ever. Just so you're not going to be, by any chance, you're going to say, oh, but I live in wherever the fuck you live. It doesn't matter where the fuck you live. You can live on a Cuba or in China or in America or in Germany or France or wherever the fuck you are. But remember this video. This is a sickness. This is a mental illness. And they start to instill one when you are a child, when you are a baby. And it goes through your childhood, adulthood, into teenage years. They exploit you. They spit on you. You're lazy. You're this. You're no good. I don't know what the fuck you are, and so on. And in between, this is what goes on. This is how they do. They flash in front of you with the new cars, with wives, with I don't know what the fuck they flash with. They asking you, which one do you like? What do you like? Which one do you see yourself in? And so on. It's a weapon. That's how they kill people. It's a sickness. It's a mental illness. It's called anxiety. They kill people through anxiety. If you don't work, if you don't do the job, they say that you're lazy, that you're no good. They record everything. If you come to them and you say that you finished the task, that you'd like to get the next assignment, they'll say that you are working too much and you're causing problems to them. In fact, they could be seen, based on their job performance, as unsuitable for the work, and in fact, they could end up losing the job because of you, they're gonna say. It's all a trick. It's all part of the big trick. It's all part of scumbaggery. If you're gonna remember this video, you're gonna be good for lifetime. I suggest you don't give me thumbs up. I don't give a fuck about the thumbs up. Download it. Just download it. Something for you to remember, and also share with other people. It's a sickness, and they're really, really good at driving people nuts in the end, having people work just like you were able to see here on my YouTube, for free, for nothing, labeled as mentally ill. Jew gives you a certificate. Jew is a victim, the biggest victim in the world. Holocaust, persecuted. They're the most talented. They're the smartest people in the world. They are the best. They're the best. They're the smartest. They're the talented. And they'll be asking, how come am I so smart and you so fucking stupid? How come he can do it and you cannot do it? Explain them. Explain them with the actions like I demonstrated you today. How many views do you see over there? What do you see here? It's strange, because every fucking view that I post here, everything that I post on my blog, the Ulcer Times, absolutely everything, I always use the YouTube video as the main video. For every video that I publish, it's a YouTube video. It's always a YouTube video. You don't think that's strange? I think it is strange. I am appealing to Iran to be very careful. Every fucking video that you see on my website, I put in a YouTube. This is all YouTube. So this should definitely have more views than, let's say, this site right here. Remember, they are always the one. They always cry injustice. They are always poor. You are never nice. You are a bad person. Here you can also see views. This is another website. Does this have anything to do with what you have seen on a YouTube, on a YouTube? The YouTube also? Is it? This shit what you are watching right there, this is not new. This has always been like this. This shit has been like this since 2010. But you fucking doing this stuff to me for 16, no less years. 16 years you're doing to me without my ever earning 1 cent out of it. And you feel good about it. We are equal. We live in an equal country. Do we live in a same universe? What kind of conditions do I live in? What kind of conditions do you live? See for yourself how that looks like. Nah. YouTube continues to do this stuff. Mikhailovich continue to do this stuff. Americans continue to do this. CIA continues to do this with the FBI. They continue to do this. This is how they threw me into psychiatric hospital. Laugh. Hey, nobody's watching your stuff, Mama continue to tells me. Nobody's watching your stuff. Nobody see. Nobody know anything about it. Pete Hexet had for the new year, my blog disappear of the internet based on MKUltra scenario. So how can this stuff be normal to anybody? How can this be normal to you? It starts when you are a child. And you know I don't post this on YouTube and here only. You know that I also put this on several YouTube channels. You know I put this also on a Daily Motion. I have a lot of stuff. I post this stuff also on other internet websites. And eventually it ends up literally with the sirens stalking you, with the sirens basically driving behind you and flashing lights. Don't fall for that type of shit. Do your stuff, collect the evidence, and do. That's criminal. That's a criminal stuff. You're never supposed to allow that kind of stuff. It's not okay. There is a way to step on the tail of the people like this. There is a way to get back. There is a way to expose them. The video, it appears like I might have even, I'm not sure, lost that video, or I'm going to put the video below. It doesn't matter. The video from the guy from this individual, Atlanta or Texas or whatever it is going to be below. Yeah. You're not going to like it, man. You're not going to like any of this stuff. You see these lights, but you don't actually like them. You work inside you're dressed up in a police uniform, but you actually fucking hate it. We know it. And your time is up. What I did was, as I said, the time is up. What I did was I did this thing here. And what I'll do is I'm just going to use this baby here. And in the meanwhile, what I will do is I'm going to demonstrate to you this baby here so that you can hear how it all started. Listen to this. Actually, you get even to see, you're gonna hear the whole fucking thing. As I browse this, you will get to hear the whole thing, how it all started. I just end up not even watching that shit. As soon as I saw what the fuck it was all about, I knew exactly what the hell this stuff was about. And as I change this, as I change it here to this page here, I hear the siren outside immediately. I immediately hear the siren outside. Somebody again lost it, I said to myself. I said, good, all right, nice. And I knew immediately what to do with it. Listen to this. This is just the program. Do you understand that I am inside with the closed windows, inside of the living room area, everything? I was watching right now with the guy who was actually involved in it. Let me demonstrate you outside. I'm sure you can hear the sirens, right? It's probably police sirens. I'm not even sure.
This is the historic 4th Ward Park in Atlanta, Georgia. For longer periods of time.
This was one of the douchebags who was involved in MK Ultra by the police, Slovenian police, by the psychiatrist Scotch. Listen how loud it is, and, the siren. You know what the funny part about it is? This individual talked about detention and regional detention and detention and detention and detention in this video. And so what they do is they were creating a program like this to undermine. In the future, where you will be watching, when I will be watching videos and stuff, most of the people probably will not even realize what they are watching if subjected to MK Ultra torture, during which death threats, psychiatric death threats are loaded inside. They gave me probably about, pertaining to the songs, they might have contaminated with the death threats, psychiatric death threats, probably about 1,000 different songs.
Management. Water before you manage and make. Even though
involved in. Here I made a mistake. That's actually recorded with my opening the door from the room. I made a mistake. I quickly went to the door from the terrace inside of the living room area, and I opened it up because it was clearly a provocation. And as soon as I came back, I started to video record this stuff. You can, however, bet that I heard the siren inside of this room with special windows. Father actually paid for special isolation for the special windows so that it would not be the noise, that you would not get the noise inside of a room. It doesn't help. Let me demonstrate you. I'm going to amplify this stuff so that you can hear this, that you're not going to say that you did not hear this stuff. Now listen to this. This is just the program I was watching right now with the guy who was actually involved in it. Let me demonstrate you.
Yeah,
outside.
that's basically what you watched.
Sirens,
so this is just,
right?
I'm giving you an idea
It's
how this stuff
police
happened.
sirens. I'm not even sure.
This is the historic 4th Ward Park in Atlanta, Georgia.
So they try to undermine like this. Very, very important proof for me. Thanks for watching this video. I don't have anything else I would say in respect to this video. I was wrong about this stuff here. Yeah. If it starts like a shit, something, especially work-wise, even if you have to pay for the work, people in America all the time encouraged to pay for the work to get the job. You can trust me, it's also going to end like a shit. You can trust me, you can bet. Because it's a reference also that is given by your employer to the I'm not going to say to your next employer. This is what they claim you. It's a lie. But based on this reference, therefore, degree of how much the government managed to drive you insane, you will be given the next employment. Jobs that are out there very suitable for you, and based on your qualifications, you should be entitled to, should and must given by the law, should be given. They're not going to be given to you. Instead of that, you're going to get another location where it's going to be more advantage like this taken of you, more damage done to you. That's all there is to it. This here, a Bible, this stuff here for the young people, this stuff here. And this video too. I didn't say to subscribe to me. I never do. This is not what I do. I don't try to put families apart as they were teaching me to do. I don't ask people to subscribe to me. And I'm not going to even say thank you for watching this video. You should thank me.